How do we remain aware of our awareness? Okay, so let's go into that. Therefore, it is important first to define what is awareness, because we cannot be aware of awareness if we do not know what awareness is. So let's go to the basics, okay? Always, whenever any problem comes, right, you first solve it, go to the basics first. We often tend to jump into, higher level. So the word aware means to be, we say, please be aware, means to be alert,
Alert. Yeah,
to be alert, to be fully present,
present.
and not be distracted. See, most of us are distracted people. Because why are we distracted? Because of we are preoccupied with thoughts. We have multiple thoughts going on. We do multiple tasking in our. We're trying to do too many things. We are thinking of too many things, right? That is why we are not aware. We are not present. We are not alert. Hmm? Yeah, it could be. It could be concentration is one, is a advanced aspect of that. But we are talking of what is it? What is awareness? To be aware means to be
Present.
present, to be alert, to
Alert.
be fully conscious of what's going on. Huh? Right? So, which means you are present to what you are doing, what you are feeling, what you are experiencing without being present somewhere else also. But what happens for all of us? We are we are sitting here, we are here, but we are somewhere else. Huh? Right? That is where our awareness goes. Or Asha ji is, same time trying to, make a cup of tea for me, trying to put clothes in the washing machine, trying to, put something else. And that multiple tasking takes your awareness out of a thing. Hmm? And then sometimes what happens when you go back, that the milk has boiled over. Yes, it happens, no? So this is awareness. So it is important to understand what is being aware and what is where the awareness. Aware is, as we understand what the aware means, being fully conscious, present, alert in the moment. We are there fully in it. That is what being aware means. Okay? So therefore, awareness is the ability of being fully present and being fully in it. All right? And why our awareness gets scattered? Because of thoughts. Mostly it is thoughts. We are preoccupied. We are present physically here, but mentally we are somewhere else. Okay? So somebody is sitting here right now here in the room, but is thinking of something else and saying, what nonsense is he talking about? And somewhere else, something else is happening in the mind. That is where our awareness goes. So it could be because we are either not interested in what's going on, what's happening, disinterested as we call it. Second is we have something troubling us. Our mind is somewhere else, right? So either disinterested or have some other issues and problems. What else could be the reason? Huh? Too many interests, trying to do multiple things at the same time. Yeah, yeah. A housewife, and in the corporate world, I was taught to do multitasking. I could do actually 15, 20 things at the same time, and now I keep telling everybody, You want to walk the path of consciousness and awareness, only one thing at a time. And that also, we say, start putting everything under a microscope. That means slow walking, slow doing things. So everything becomes in slow motion. Slow down. Our problem is we are running too fast. Even self-realization we want fast. So therefore, what is awareness? So what happens to awareness? As your awareness improves, everything starts getting magnified. When you are not aware, you don't even notice things. But when you are aware, everything starts to become bigger and bigger. And the smallest things you are able to see. And you would have noticed in the last 6 days, and for those who stay with me, that how I pick up things. Yeah, where I'm not even there, but I pick up things. I give examples to you of what small things that have been going on. Why am I able to do it? How am I able to do it? Is because of the awareness that I am able to see such a small dot that you are not able to see. It's not because I have a better eyesight. It's because my awareness is expanded. So, and some people think that habit of mine is OCD, right? OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. That this fellow is a freak. He always is looking for perfection. He's always trying to push people. It's because I see things that you don't see. And I want to tell you that you have to reach that awareness where you are also able to see. How God is able to see everything? Because the God is able to see the same things that you are seeing, but you are not observing them. Your consciousness is limited. So, and actually, there is no difference between awareness and consciousness. When we say God is consciousness, what is consciousness? It is awareness. Awareness of things, situations, people, feelings that others are normally not aware of. As you keep going, becoming stiller and stiller in your mind. So, what is a distraction? The mind. And that's why we say, man minus mind is equal to God. So, this mind is the cause that we are not fully aware at all times. Because the mind has preoccupations. The mind has distractions. And as soon as, that's why we say silence, still, don't react, go back, stop everything. And as you do it, you have to, if you listen to what the master is telling you, and if you just follow that, and not the 100 things that you're clever, every time I see some of you read, every day I give a talk. And this is what used to happen to me also, right? You've read something and you have heard something. What you do is, you leave everything else that you were doing, you start focusing on that. This is what we did yesterday, you will, in another 1 hour, we would have forgotten because you're now focusing on what's going on, right? And we tend to leave that. That's why when I made these ladies do a 21-day sadhana, I told them, look, here is when I expect much better sadhana from you. They said, what is that? I said, if you are on day 5, you are not just going to do sadhana only of day 5. It becomes successively more challenging for you. Why? Because you have to do sadhana of day 1 to day 5 on day 5th. What do we do? Our tendency, whatever we did on day 4, we just drop it. We say, okay, today I'm only going to do this. Then the awareness, there we forget everything. What we need to do, it's cumulative. What we have learned and practiced yesterday has to come in and get added this. Then only the expansion is going to start happening. But what do? We just drop it. Yeah. And if you understand, I'm just trying to point out to you, I have nothing personal either for you or against you. When I poke you, you feel I am poking you. I'm just trying to tell you something. You think because you feel uncomfortable, you think I'm poking you. You feel that I'm hammering you because you feel uncomfortable with it. Why do you feel uncomfortable? Because you have ego. You don't like that, somebody should point out to you. But why have you come to a teacher? You are unaware. I am pointing out to you that you are unaware and here you are falling. Instead of thanking and saying, thank you for pointing out and improving awareness, you start hating me. You start disliking me. Well, why did you tell me this? I'm very angry with you. Go there, man. Go where you are happy. You come to me. Why have you come to me? If you've come to me with certain other expectations, then of course I'm going to disappoint you. I have only this to give, right? My job is to keep puncturing you. Every puncture should improve your awareness, right? And you say, oh, this was a blind spot. This is a blind spot. And so slowly, it's like acupuncture. What do they do? Why do they do acupuncture? They're trying to open the blockages. That's why they do acupuncture. Acupressure is the same thing. So I keep puncturing you so that that part of your blockage of your awareness goes away. Because whatever I point out to you, ask Philippa, whatever I point out to her, next day she says, oh, I didn't realize it was there, right? So the successive day, something opens, no? Cumulatively it's opening. It is not like what, they do the balloon therapy or the angioplasty, where they put a balloon inside, your vein or your artery. And in that artery, it, opens it up. I'm actually doing angioplasty to you every day. Opening up small blockages that you have. By pointing out to you, here is the problem. What do I do when I point out? I am bringing your awareness to it. Oh my God, this is also there in me. Because you don't like that dark side of yours which you have hidden, and I have pushed it out, you say, shoot the messenger. How dare you, point out this to me? I don't like it. I've been hiding it for how many lifetimes? And somebody comes and points it out. We don't like it. So that's why we shoot the messenger. Instead of thanking the messenger and saying, so this is the operation of the mind. And mind is the cause of our losing our awareness. Because of distractions, because of multiple thoughts, a lot of pressure that we feel on ourselves, of wanting to do things. Sometimes we want to be supermen and superwomen, right? Because we believe there are too many expectations on us, right? So multiple reasons of why we are not able to hold the awareness, the 5 senses, the 5 action organs, and the desires, we will just pull them in. And that is when our awareness will build. See, this is why I say the problem of this, what we are experiencing, we are trying to find God realization or self-realization or consciousness now, and we are finding it tough because it was never taught to us when we were kids. It should have ideally been taught to us by our parents and by the school. School, we have learned physics, chemistry, history, geography, language, right? But nobody taught us this at all. Whatever they taught us, we know. Whatever our parents taught us, we know. No, there is no problem for our parents because they also were not taught. What they were taught by their parents, they also learned that. And that's why they say, so the only thing we are learned, unfortunately, and this is what my parents did to me and I did it to my children. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. right? And I put so much negativity in my children by saying don't, because this is how they also were taught. We were not told go encourage. At least when I understood this, instantly I changed my path and I told my wife, we are not going to, get into that. And from that day, encouragement started. Come on, go do it. Come on, go and do it. I keep pushing my children, go do it. I'm standing behind you. Go experiment, figure out. I'm not going to give you an answer. Go. I'm not going to live your life for you. But if anything goes wrong, I'm there. But I don't want scared children. I want children who will go into the life and live life like kings. But I learned quite late. I wish I was a more aware parent. Whatever understanding I have, I feel actually we should not have children till we are fully aware. Because, yeah, it's because no, it's not just about your children. It's not about this just one generation. I am talking about their children. Just, at least if my children would have understood, their next generation will be fully realized beings. That's the only way to change. You see, that's why I when I understood life, I went into teaching. Because I realized, how can I contribute? See, with you, I have to spend 100 times more time. And I keep telling you, look at it, so with some last 8-10 years, we're talking about the same thing. I'm repeating like a parrot the same things. But with children, they pick it up like this.
At least now that we are aware, we can try to break that cycle, the habits.
Yeah, but in some of your children cases, it's very late. Now you go and sermonize them, they'll give you a whack and they'll rebel against you. They'll say, now what the hell are you saying, mom? So you have to do it very cleverly, like I do. I never talk of spirituality with them, but I do it very tactfully with them. So you have to be very tactful. Our problem is another. We are very immature people. We learn something here, instantly we want to go and try it and practice it on our children. Go into silence and build some maturity. Be more mature, then you know what to say. I do it where, I think I have figured out the art of this. Ultimately, they always come to your point, and I do it very tactfully. I just throw some point here, and I will not insist. I will go do it. They will always do what they want to do. And I never make them feel guilty that, and later on they say, I know, I should have listened. So slowly get them to the point. And then when they have experienced it, then throw the learning there. And it's now going to get cemented. So there is an art. And I have been telling some others also, speaking is an art. Tactfully speaking is an art. We just don't go and do this. No. You will lose people. Be tactful. Build the story first. Get people to start engaging. Then give the punchline. Punchline should come, what you really want to say should come after 15 minutes. 20 minutes when you've got the people. You stayed straight away, you lost them. You would say, but why is, wait for 20 minutes, what do you have to say? Because people are not ready to listen to that truth that you're going to give them. You have to prepare, no? Like the bed has to be prepared before you plant a seed. You have to work on it, you have to remove the weeds, you have to, till it, you have to water it, you have to manure it, you have to do everything. Similarly, your mind is also, so you're not tilled your mind properly. That's why silence, everything silence. Go in, take it in, absorb it, understand it, experience it, become like that. Then go and, say, I've got to tell someone something. For us, it's borrowed knowledge. Yeah, you listen from someone here, next day we want to go and show to everybody how much we've learned, we blurt it out. And we make this mistake with our children. I learned. Children, if you do not put it appropriately with the children, they will rebel. Huh? Always fires back. Always fires back. And on the contrary, if you are doing, they are observing anything. You don't have to say anything. Those who do not tell. Those who tell, they don't do. If you are doing what you are saying, then everybody will instantly follow you. Telling you, the secret of my secret mantra is Trikaran Shuddhi. Thought, words, and action has to be aligned. That's it. Life is not difficult. We made it difficult because we cannot practice it. We keep saying and we keep doing different things. And when, see, so somewhere what happened, and that's the topic given to me by Baba. When I asked Baba first time when he said, what do you want to do? I told him, I want to set up a international center for human values and ethics. Right? So why human values? Why was I so interested in human values? Because I had worked in the corporate world. I'd worked in the top corporations of the world. So in that corporate career of mine, I learned, while I was being very successful with what I was doing, I found that the employees of the company are not truthful to the company. And because these companies are nameless, faceless animals, because the old owners are shareholders, everybody thinks that as long as some profits are made, they are not focused on the value part of it. And I realized that there was such lack of integrity in the system. It used to trouble me inside. And I used to cry. I used to cry that, look, and because I did my job well, my corporate headquarters used to love me, but the others around me disliked me completely. My HR and and the CEO, the marketing fellow didn't like me, because who wanted an honest guy over there? Who wanted a guy, right? Though they would try to stop my promotion and my increment, but because my headquarters loved me, nobody could stop it. And I used to walk with a resignation in my pocket, and I used to be like I've been a lion everywhere. I've never been bothered what they will do to me. I will just do what my value system told me. And I think this value system prepared me to do what I'm doing now. And I had gone into the corporate world only for 2 years, thinking that I will learn how a corporate operates. I am so much of a consultant at heart. I'll do my consultancy. But slowly I realized I was trying to understand how the corporates worked. And then I realized I was a junior manager. I wanted to become a top executive so that I could go and change the system. So then I thought, okay, if I go really at the top level, then I will start to change, because I understood that it's the top guys. If they change, the corporation changes. So I went on to become the CFO of Tata AIG, and I was a de facto member of the board of directors. And therefore, I had privy to every board meeting that happened. And that is where I realized that it's at that level, even the board members have compulsions coming from the shareholders. And that's when I realized that, the system is all created in such a way that it is not supposed to change. And that is when I said, okay, enough time for me to now quit and do something about this. Right? So what I'm saying is, that was the basis of my going to Bhagwan and saying I want to work on human values. And I then have been tested even later on as well on this path. I've seen the organization, the spiritual organizations. I've seen ashrams, and I've seen the lack of integrity there. Right? Where the end justifies the means. I've seen it. There's I remember as a school kid, there used to be a debate. There was one common topic of debate in the school, and that used to be, does the end justify the means? And people used to speak both for and against it. We used to all copy from everywhere and speak. That time didn't understand what it meant. Unfortunately, like the Kabir Dohas, we are taught at an age where we don't understand them. Even these debates, we used to participate without understanding them. But now I believe it's such an important thing. Does the end justify the means? And frankly, I am that traditional person, very old fashioned, old hearted, whatever you want to call it. For me, I chose to be on this side of the debate. I'm not saying that that side of debate is wrong. Who am I to say? But I chose my path. And my path was that the end does not justify the means. The means to me are more important. End is inconsequential because actually there is no end. And that is what I think my guru has tested me on. And believe me, I can't tell you how many thousands of tests I have gone through for standing on for my means. Okay, the end doesn't matter because to me, end is fictitious, end is a fallacy, end is an illusion. Because how can there be an end when it is all eternity? When it is endless, how can there be an end? So, having understood that, and now I realize how he tested me. Now, why this work has come to me. Because even sitting in a place where good work was being done all around me, I chose to walk separately because I couldn't connect with it. There was good work being ultimately given to the end people, but I didn't agree with the methodology. I didn't realize that the principles that we were talking about when we talk were not being practiced. How can the end product, create that is my question. And I therefore chose that no, that's not my path. My path is different. And I am not sitting in judgment and saying the other path is incorrect. That's not my path. And therefore, I am creating my own destiny. I am creating my own future because I have chosen it like that. That's it. Because remember, there's no end. If you do things for reaching an end, there's a problem. So, coming back to the question, we just lost it. And we went into something completely, on a tangent. Uncle, the reason why we are not, and the awareness that Uncle was talking about was the awareness that we are that consciousness and that we are not that limited being, limited body, limited mind. Why do we lose awareness of that awareness? Is, Uncle, simply that we are distracted. We go into our mind. That is the only time when we lose it. See, there was a time when you started this journey where 1 out of 10 times you were in awareness and 9 times you would fall. But with constant sadhana, you've reached 8 out of 10. And now you know these are the 2 states or 2 times when actually you fall. And this is, you have to throw the light of awareness also on that, which, takes you out. And slowly, all those distractions, all those things that bring you into your mind will stop going away. Because you have put the light on that. The only way to do this is it happens gradually. It happens in our meditations. The why we do meditations, because in silence we are able to experience that which we don't experience normally. That's why we say that silence is important. And slowly we keep increasing silence in our life. Right? The answer is silence. And then then the question comes, how can you remain silent in the face of the entire world? Yeah. It's like that. As I was saying the other day, that for being, by myself in isolation for so long, now I came back suddenly for the last 7 months. I'm in the world all the time. But I find it doesn't trouble me at all. I can just, you are in that then you realize what the masters meant, that once you reach that state, it doesn't bother you. You just keep on doing what you have to do. And it does. There will be some things that will agitate you. It's not that you will not get irritated. You will get irritated, but it doesn't lose your connection. And you can see that the mind is coming in, and you're watching it happening, and you're saying, okay. Then you see, oh, this is what is causing it. You sit back and remove it. It is not that it will not. Anybody, every master, Baba used to get angry. Every master would get angry. They would have they have to, because anger is also, as a parent, we know that anger is a great tool. Because if you show, when the child is not listening, you've tried everything, then you get angry and the child starts listening. So anger is, if you are in control of that anger, and the anger does not control you, then anger is a very useful tool. Shirdi Baba was a master of anger. People used to run scared of him. I believe Baba also in the early days had a massive anger. So, but that anger is for show, is to make a point. It's just to show inside the anger does not touch the master. All of them have. Rama, Krishna, they've killed millions. Okay, so it's part of it. What you have to do, you have to do. I keep relating to Hanuman and Hanuman Chalisa. To me, Hanuman's character is the most beautiful character, right? And to me, we were taught in corporations situational leadership. We used to learn situational leadership courses. And to me, the best situational leader was Hanuman. He just knew exactly how to deal with every sort of people. For the loving people, good people, he used to become very humble and small and, absolutely self-evasive kind of a person. With people who were demonic in nature, he showed them his power so that they remained, in there. But people who were really, really vile, he would kill them. So you got to see, if you're dealing with sattva, you become sattva. If you're dealing with rajas, you become rajas. If you're dealing with tamas, then you deal with tamas. No, you cannot deal from sattva with the tamas. That's why sometimes when children are being very lazy, and if you keep saying, come on, get up, it's okay, let's do it, they will not listen to you, because they are absolutely lazy. They are in complete tamas. Then you have to become rajas and say, get out of your bed in 5 minutes, if not, I'm going to throw you out. And then they are immediately out. You've got to do that. So this is how we need to understand. It's nothing. It's about role play, right? It's a drama happening. In that drama, to teach something, sometimes you have to do that. Not that you mean anything, not that the other person means anything. It's just a question of trying to teach. So depending upon what mood the student is in, the teacher also has to change the mood. I keep saying this, I learned with my children. I've been a very, very naughty student. And I love naughty children, because I believe they have the spark in them to do something different. Good students, boring. They will just go the straight path. They will neither go left nor go right, and they will just go, whatever. And if they've been given a wrong path, God help them. They will just they are not adventurous. What allowed me to do all this was because I was adventurous. Not to go there, I'll go there and see. This not to do. The teacher would say, don't do this. First thing I have to do is what the teacher is saying not to do. Because the teacher never said, parents never said, why not to do it? We just sermonize, don't do this, don't do this, without ever telling anyone why it should be. We think that, So, therefore, I realized, okay. So then when I went as a teacher, first time I had this class of 6th standard boys, and they were absolutely naughty. And I was first enjoying their naughtiness, but then I realized I can't teach them. If they remain like this, how am I going to teach them? Then I learned very beautifully. This is how I learn. I pick up from people. And I said, if I don't create discipline, then no learning will happen. Right? So I want to be friendly with them, but I want them to respect my boundaries. So then I learned that the first 3 or 4 days in any class, any new class that you take for children, how do you start creating these very strong Lakshman Rekha boundary that you cannot cross? And once they get used to that boundary and they understand that they cannot transgress this, then become absolutely childish and joyous with them. And then you know what the children will do? They will realize, oh, he's become very friendly. Now they can cross that boundary. And the minute they cross, you burn them down. Then they realize, okay, here is a boundary which cannot be crossed. Within this, we can have a good time. Right? It's a minimalistic framework that you have to establish, and which is true for all of us. Same that we do in school is what we do in life, we do in an ashram. We just make a minimalistic set of this. So, coming back, Uncle, to that thing, that the only way to be aware of this is to constantly look at those things which still, take you out of it, and put the light of awareness on that, and see it, that this happens and this normally takes me out. And when you put the light on it, already the darkness is beginning to move, and slowly you will overcome that also. And there comes a time when nothing impacts you, and you can, at this age and at this stage of your life, can be completely into it. Okay, for example, a person like me who has to take the role of a teacher and who has to still run into it, I cannot do it all the time. I have to allow myself to be like that, because the day I just shut my eyes and just be in that awareness all the time, and then that awareness takes you into a samadhi, and through that samadhi you don't want to come out. So to me, my guru reminds me, you got a work to do. This what you want to do, I tell you, I would love to just get out, close the doors, actually take a much smaller place, be by myself and shut the door and say, you guys do what you want to do. I just want to be in my peace. But if I do that, then who's going to do my work? So my guru tells me, there is going to be a time to do that. But boss, not now. That's it. Okay. This is also a job. As long as you're enjoying everything, how does it matter? Even then I moved to joy, even now I'm enjoying. So what's the difference between that? Thank you, everyone.